Yo, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? This is Anthony Fallon, home to the Sports Channel. Yes, the draft has been completed a few hours ago. Dallas Cowboys. Um, what can I say? Nothing that I chose on the DraftKings challenge. Um, the Dallas Cowboy draft pick challenge by with DraftKings. Um, they picked none of the players I chose. I mean, off the rip, the trade down kind of messed me up. Then picking Michael Parsons. Actually, everybody I had on my list, they did not pick up. Period. Spencer Brown, he went to the Bills. Um, Jamal Johnson went to the Broncos. Monty Rice went to um, the Tennessee Titans. Um, Mike Strong, the wide receiver from Charleston State, Indianapolis picked them up in the later rounds. You know what I'm saying? Uh, um, what was some? Well, we picked up Jabril Cox. That's the only one, and I didn't have him on my draft list for the challenge, but he was something that I mentioned early, like a couple of months ago, as far as draft prospects. Charles Snowden didn't get drafted, so we could pick him up in the free agent. Earl Thompson from Mississippi State, inside linebacker, didn't get drafted. He could have went. We might could pick him up as a rookie free agent. Um, Wap Philor from a wide receiver from IU didn't get drafted. He could go to in uh, rookie free agent. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Racy McMath uh, went to I forgot who somebody picked him up though um, in the late rounds. Um, Jalen Camp from Georgia Tech. That was somebody that was he's a wide receiver, uh, prime, but assisted in special teams. So he didn't very physical receiver, 6'3", 220, pro day 4'3", 39-inch vertical, bench press 225 30 times. I thought he could have been. He could be a project at wide receiver, regardless. A development player at wide receiver. Well, he could be a project as far as being a safety, maybe. You know what I'm saying? I was thinking along those lines, but he got picked up. I forgot who picked him up as well. I can't remember. Um, but everybody that I named, except for Earl Thompson and Charles Snowden, probably because of injury. Charles Snowden had an ankle injury, and that he's recovering from even during his pro day. And now he played in the 3-4, as an outside linebacker. Um, can play in space with his height, 6'7" at 240 or something like that. Probably could bulk up. Uh, but due to injuries, I think that everybody shied away from that, and that he was still recovering. So he could still be a rookie free agent to be picked up, you know, once he's fully healed, put it like that, because he's in recovery right now, because he did do the bench press or something like that uh, during the Virginia UVA's pro day. So definitely he was someone that was on my radar that could be good. Now, like, uh, Cowboys, okay. Um, but we made some picks that you know I don't think nobody had on their radar besides Jabril Cox, and we could possibly pick up Michael Parsons. You know what I'm saying? But everybody else, Golston and uh, the old lines, the two Ball, we picked up Ball, and we picked up Calvin Joseph was on somebody's on a couple other YouTube vloggers list. you know what I'm saying, from Kentucky, the cornerback, uh, and stuff like that. But what I got from the draft from uh, our Cowboys team and listening to Jerry Jones in day two press conference is that these guys were healthy. They had no health issues. They it's like people shied away from the guys that had medical records. That's why a lot of these guys fell. That's why like Marvin Wilson and some of these guys probably didn't get drafted. You know what I'm saying? These guys had some concerns medically, medical in their medical history, or they might be going through some have a medical condition as we speak. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I got from Jerry Jones is that every player that they picked did not have any issues on the medical side. They might have had some issues off the field, but they didn't have any issues medical on the medical side of things. So that's I think that's what they went with because they passed up on some players. Um, they passed up on some players, so we just have to wait and see what value that they have. Some interesting ones is Israel Makoa, and definitely the other cornerback, Nashawn Wright. You know what I'm saying? Uh, I have no problem with the offensive lineman that they picked up. One for the guard, one for the tackle. Ball is for the tackle, and I can't think of the guy's name, but I think it was. I think now you know what? Since I can't even get his name on right now. I'm not going, but I know he played in the Big Ten. Okay, he might be more of an inside, maybe backup center. You know what I'm saying? Since we didn't re-sign Joe Looney or whatnot, um, so to add competition to these guys with us um, drafting two linebackers with Parsons and Jabril Cox. So these guys won't feel comfortable in their position. Free safety is definitely going to be a battle spot that we're going to have to look out for when the OTAs and the mini camps and all this stuff starts to come about. Uh, see who's going to battle for that, who's going to win, who's going to compete for that starting spot. Cause we got Kazim, Makoa, as we heard in the press conference today after the draft by Jerry Jones and Mike McCarthy that Makoa uh, they had visions of him playing safety. But if he's good enough to play corner, then they would just have to figure out the safety spot. That's what Jerry Jones said. So, hey, it is what it is. But he's a ball hawk. He's a gamecock, and he's tall and he's lengthy, 6'4", 80-inch wingspan. You know what I'm saying? Maybe not as twitchy as we would like. Maybe not have the range, but things can. That's why we have coaches to develop these players. You know, none of them come in completely pro ready. You know what I'm saying? Completely pro ready. But yes, but that's what I got from the Cowboys is about. It was more about finding healthy players, players that's not coming in with injury prone issues. Now, as far as the league go, everybody made some, like, not everybody, but a lot of people, everybody had their own draft board and had these prospects higher or lower than everybody expected. Like the Peyton Turner draft pick by the Saints. You know, somebody else, Toyin, he was drafted high. You know what I'm saying? And, even the Cowboys did it with Nashawn Wright. Some people had him, sixth round, seventh round possibly, maybe. You know what I'm saying? Nobody would have thought that a Darius Washington wouldn't get drafted. No, people thought Marvin Wilson would have got drafted. Stuff like that. Um, but guys, nobody thought that. I didn't think that Asante Samuel would have got drafted as late as he did. I thought we would have picked him up, to be honest with you, since Sertan and J.C. Horn was off the market. But he was the closest thing to Sertan than any other cornerback, because he was the most, besides Sertan, he was the most polished. Because his father was a former cornerback. Other than the height, other than the height, but he was compared to Zaire Alexander, and pretty much as close to pro ready than any other DB or cornerback in the league in this draft. If you ask me, um, although there was probably some guys that was more talented, because they had the height. That's it. But as far as gameplay, that he can play outside or slot, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know. But I see it seemed like everybody drafted need. Most of them drafted need. Cleveland Browns stacked. Yeah, they did a good job. Cleveland Browns just kind of went BPA all the way through, and uh, and they got some good value in the later rounds as well. It just seemed like everybody just had players higher and lower than what everybody else thought. So it was just pretty much everybody picked players that they particularly like for their philosophy and scheme, whether it's offense or defense. You know what I'm saying? So and maybe a little bit of BPA at the same time, because we got that wide receiver from Stanford, physical specimen, 6'3", 220, uh, blazing speed, still raw, still learning the wide receiver position, but could be someone that might be reckoned that just be redshirted this year. Maybe play special teams, but still develop as a wide receiver, and he could be a threat. He could be a threat to one of the starters. I mean, because you can't, because you, like they said, you look at his tape from the games that he played, he was productive. You know, especially the UCLA tape. You heard, if y'all watched and listened to some of the Cowboys draft, I think Jeff Kavanaugh and Brian Broaddus and those guys talked about that. So that's where I got that information from. That's not that I didn't have that guy on my radar. I was talking about Strong and Fillmore and McMath, some later round guys that worth looking at, especially Strong from Charleston State. I thought that was my unicorn at 6'5", 220, 4'4", 4'5", as they say. But he said he could run a 4.3. Former track athlete, had 19 touchdowns. Um, and was from a small school, so he dominated. He's supposed to with that height and speed. You know what I'm saying? Um, and could jump, so a good catch radius. So but it was a couple guys. McMath from LSU. I mean, 6'3", 220, ran like a 4.3, 4.4. I think it was like a 4.39, something like that. Still a developing wide receiver. So um, but also it heightens the competition when you see a specimen like that with upside to come in the wide receiver core and kind of push Noah Brown and Cedric Wilson, and who knows who else they might get Phil from IU or whatnot. You know what I'm saying? Because you got the draft isn't over yet, because we're talking about rookie free agents. So definitely going to be looking into that tomorrow on who they get. Um, which is going to be interesting. Matter of fact, I think I'm going to go on Twitter and put my rookie free agent draft list together. Uh, to be honest with you, so hopefully they'll look into these guys. Um, and we'll see from there. So it's still going to be about medical history, off the field issues, maybe depending on they're going to be doing. They're going to be still doing. They're still going to be doing uh, due diligence on getting as much information as possible because information was limited. So I can understand they chose clean and safe prospects that not that also fit the scheme and philosophy of what this Cowboys offense and defense is going to be like. So at least they come in with a healthy scratch, and we don't have to worry about lingering injuries that that's going to prohibit their growth. You know what I'm saying, and stop them from being productive and competitive on the field in the off season at the same time. So that Charles Snowden joint that could hinder him at the same time. So I'm pretty sure other draft teams kind of went that route as well. You know, they since they had limited medical history and all the on the medical. I mean, they had limited information on the medicals and just limited information period because this is a new experience because of the climate that we're in when it comes to the pandemic. You know what I'm saying? So yes, yes, that definitely well came into play as you heard Jerry Jones spoke. He spoke on that on the day two press conference. But yes, I'm going to sign off right now. This is your boy Anthony Fallon, Tone Setter Sports Channel. Peace. I'm out.